fantastic. Getting ready, hold the coffee, pour it steady. Phantoms, ghosties, goblins too. Take a seat, have a brew, have some cookies, fill the tank. No white chocolate or walk the plank. The plank is standing by. Drop bears fall from out the sky. Steampunk pictures, chatter start, worlds of wonder, crazy art, ancient stories, modern myths, fakers, false shows always miss. The plank is standing by, drop bears fall from out the sky. Steampunk pictures, chatter start, worlds of wonder, crazy art, ancient stories, modern myths, fakers, false trolls always miss. Fantastic.
I thought I could get to the music before it's finished. Hang on. Give me a second. Music. There we go. Clear the frog out of my throat. Did I turn that music down? No, that sounds okay. Let me know if it's too loud. Okie dokie. Yeah, sorry about the time mix up. I did change it earlier. Thought I'll go a bit earlier. Then Crow went live. So I thought, oh no, I need a break between me and the boss. So I went back to my normal time. I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to mute and cough. What a great start. Right, so let's start with lovely Caroline. Hey, Caroline. Sorry to confuse. I'm a silly. Carla, lovely Carla. Hello everyone, I'm Maybe Lurky Turkey. I'm trying to find a new normal, but grieving is hard. I've been trying to catch up. There is no way, speaking from experience, there is no way of hurrying that process up. You've got to do it in your own time, sweetness. I just want you to look after yourself. You'll get there. You just can take it takes as long as it takes, in my experience. Anne, just heading to the chemist. Will join live after, no problem. If you're here, I'll say hello again if you come back. John Boy. Hey, John Boy. I'm sorry I missed most of your lives at the weekend. I have been mainly asleep, to be honest. I think I've got to go back to the docs this week. I don't think those antibiotics shifted it. I'll have to go and get stroppy on Friday when I get paid. In the house. Looking very suave in that avatar, Mike. Suave. That's me. Stop highlighting your own comments, Sarah. You'll be as far behind as Crow was this morning. Pinky. Look at that. Saying hello to everybody. No blanky hellos from Pinky. What you feeling? Have I been poorly, Pinky? Did I know that? Have I missed something? Am I just being silly? Let me increase those. It's better. Oh no, I've lost my comments. Oh, that's what I've done. Right, okay. Mine, don't mind me, I'm new here. Right. Just realised I was Wisdom live at 4. Yeah, I always miss Wisdom's, and I do feel bad about it. But he goes live after Jeff. And on Mondays, for the most part, I don't make Jeff's. Well, not much of it. Cass. Just do. Oh no. Hope that goes all right. Hope you don't get any after effects. I think I was all right when I used to have them. Actually, one was worse than the other. I can't remember which was which. This Lurky Turkey says hello. Hello, Lurky Turkey. Cat woke up and enough to click and lurk. No problem. Alexis Artemis Green had the first. I can say that without actually looking at it. Do you realise that? It's because I'm so good at saying the whole thing. Hello, sweetie. How you doing? I haven't seen Sky come in. Oh, Sky was in earlier. Yeah, she left. She dropped me a couple of memberships because she's awesome. I woke up because I couldn't sleep. Crow was live and it cheered me up. It was Crow at 90 miles an hour, but not with the chat. I really was hoping Seg might drop in just to so he can give Crow the grief he gives me, but was not to be. Yeah. I haven't ate through the past 2 days. Yeah, I think it's partly it's partly this chest infection, I think, but it's also partly the weather. As soon as the weather turned, I think hibernation was like, what? Why are you awake, Sarah? Why? Wayne's World of Rock Music. Hey. Do you change your channel name, Wayne? Am I behind on this? Mystic Mimo. Hey. How are you, sweetie? Hope everyone is fine and dandy. Just stay away from my brandy. But I like brandy. Is it a good brandy? You have to exercise. Will you do something for me, Alexis, please? Oh, I've got to walk up to the shops. And the reason I actually put the live forward was I thought, I'll try and get to the shops where it gets dark, but I'm just resigned to walking up in the dark. It's safe to walk up in the dark. It's just... I'll probably get there in the light. As long as I get there in the light, I don't mind walking back in the dark. Hey, Miss Kelly, how you doing? I usually feel rough for a few days. Usually I just sleep. Yeah, I haven't had one for 2 years at least. I'm supposed to be getting a flu jab though. I'm supposed to get flu jabs now. I've got COPD, but I haven't booked it yet. Well, hopefully it's not too bad for you, Cass, sweetie. Cry in the chat. You're awesome, Sarah. I know, what can I say, you know. Anything but awesome, but thank you for that. Cat's Blanky, hello in everybody. Depends which way the weather is facing. Well, it's bloody wet and miserable here. It's 25 degrees in Georgia. We had 3 lovely days last week. I mean, for this time of year, warm days, but I think I actually might even have said it in a live. It's way too warm for November. We're in for it, and I think we're about to be in for it, actually. I'm just hoping my area misses the snow they keep threatening us with. 7:30 p.m. and I'd put that time in a comment, saw it 30 minutes late. Yeah, sorry guys. My bad. A good brandy. Brandy's smooth. I like whiskey, but it has to be a really, really good whiskey for me. I can't drink cheap whiskey. Actually, the only cheap whiskey I buy is one we get that has honey in it. That's tasty. I like that one. Andy, good to see you, sweetie. How you doing? Hope you're not getting too blasted too much by weather. Mimo says, I'm here and cold. I need cat food and I don't want to go anywhere. I know the feeling. I've got to go out later. I'd rather just stay inside and think, stuff it. I miss my car. So many reasons I miss my car. I've got to try and get another car next year. Only changed it once. Got 3 songs on my channel now. Another one to come, maybe later too. Woohoo! I'll check that out. Peachy! Peachy in the house. Oh, were you in the chat last night? I think you were. Was it last night or the night before? When did Seg go live? Last night. Oh, that's why I didn't make it awake. Seg was live. He loved it. He loved it. So said he would. Made him very happy. So the diamond art that Sandra did for Seg went down very well. So it should. I've seen it and it was beautiful. Little Miss Mayhem, how are you doing? I still need to contact you, Peachy. I suck right now. I suck. Oh my goodness! I've got royalty in chat. Have I done something wrong? Beardo never turns up in my chat unless I've done something. I'm trying to think back. I promoted you this morning in Crow's chat. Is that why you're in? How you doing, hun? While you actually, Peter, if you're still in here, can I just say something? Because I'm crap at doing comments and stuff. I really like the format you did 2 or 3 videos ago where you were covering like 3 different topics. I think that was really good. I know because one of them was the Sam Colby going to the wrong house for the Smurls. But I like that. I thought that was a good format. Now, whether you take that feedback or not, but I actually really enjoyed that. I thought it was a good way to do 1 or 2 of your videos. Because it covers little bite-sized pieces, keeping everybody informed and giving your take on it. I like that. And I wouldn't say that if I didn't mean it. I want to Greg's lunch. Festive bacon. Mint hot chocolate. The trouble is, if I go into... I like Greg's sandwiches, and I'm not a sandwich person, but the trouble is, if I go into Greg's, I come out with more than the sandwich. I'll come out with donuts and all that sorts of shit. So I've gone from having 7 to 8 mile walks to hibernating with a cold. Sarah was right. Weather did. It turned quickly. It was literally 3 days of lovely warm weather, and then suddenly we really are in November now. It's wetter than an otter's pocket in Wales. Nothing new. No, I've got family in Llanelli. I know what it's like down there. It's I don't know if it happens where you are, but because where they are in the bay with Llanelli from Swansea round, it's one of those places where even if it's not raining, you can actually feel the moisture in the air a lot of the time. I actually love it down there. It's beautiful. But yeah, it does have that. You do get way more rain than we do here. So, God, I'm crying. I can't. I've got to beat Crow. I'm so glad. Yes, he did. He genuinely did. Sarah means yes. Sarah's. We're honoured to have King Beardo come join us. All right, Wayne. Lord Beardo of Wales. I don't need a reason to go. I know you don't, hon. I know you're busy. I'm just kidding. Good to see you, though. I do genuinely appreciate you popping in. Behind in the messages, not the chat. Yeah, I will get around to it. So if he stays awake, Crow will be asleep by now. I had a voice message from Crow about half an hour ago, and he was already yawning. I mean, amazing if he makes it, but don't, guys, please don't get your hopes up. I will be trying to do a later live tomorrow, so maybe he can, if he's around. I don't like to put pressure on Crow to drop in. He knows he's got an open invitation. Sometimes I think it's easier to condense the stupidity into one video. I know, but I just liked it, and it kept the pace moving, and you know, it was also sometimes, because I find it as well, sometimes I want to say something, I think, well, I would do something on that, but there's not really enough to say to do like a vlog or a video, and sometimes those little bite-sized chunks work well. I enjoyed that. Elaine here. How are you? Clonathley. Oh, we don't even. Oh, yes. It's too good for Clonathley. I like it down there. They started out a bit further on in Kidwelly, which was far more rural. But when I lived in London, it was such an easy drive on the M4 to go straight through to Clonathley, because my auntie moved over there, and my grandparents lived with her. Often on a weekend, it was an easy drive just to get there and come back. So I spent quite a bit of time down there. Bow to me, loyalish subjects. Sweetie, you're in the wrong chat for that. They give me shit. Oh, the baked bean pasties. Oh, hell yeah. They're amazing. They only do the breakfast time, though. Gets. We're not worth. Don't encourage it anymore. Don't encourage it. I swear allegiance to law. John Boy, you traitor. Beardo doesn't moderate for you when you fall asleep on a live and keep the live going for 12 hours with nothing happening. But yeah, you swear your allegiance to Beardo. Don't mind me. Can we all wish Beardo a happy birthday? There you go, Sandra. That's the spirit. Naka, thanks for asking. No, you're well, sir. I'm not too bad. M4 is shocking now. Is it really? Because I used to find that an easy run. If there was any problem, it was just the London bit. Especially once the new bridge opened. I mean, I'm going back a long time, obviously. I'm going back to the early 90s. When I lived in London, but Newport. No, the world's always a bit sticky around there. Happy Beardo Day. So glad I'm further south. Not much traffic here. No. Actually, I have to say, I mean, I did spend 6 years in London and the area, and I've lived in other places as well, and I've did a lot of driving to places like Wales and Nottingham, etc., and for gigs and things. And I have to say, if I sit in a traffic jam here, I have to remind myself that we have it so easy where I am, because, you know, our idea of a traffic jam is being stuck behind a queue of about 3 cars, unless the tourists have descended. Why do I hear Backstreet Boys music in chat? I don't know. We need an annual Beardo Day so I can have a day off work. Peachy wants a national holiday. It would have to hit us, though. Plank John Boy campaign. Hell yeah. I'm sure I owe him a plank anyway, and I just can't remember why. I don't think I've gone over 24 miles per hour past Newport in the last 2.5 years. Really? Do remember it getting a bit clogged, but there's still 3 lanes there, isn't it? Is it 3 lanes at that? I can't remember. It's so long since I've driven it. I know once I got past, certainly once I got past Cardiff, from Cardiff to, apart from that little bit around Port Talbot, depending on what time of day it was an easy run. So to Rican, N4 sounds like every freeway in Atlanta. M4 is literally straight from London through to Wales. And if you hit it when there's nothing on it, it's an easy run. It's a very easy run. If you hit it in traffic jam. There was one bank holiday. I was coming back on the Monday from Wales, and as soon as I got over the Severn Bridge, can't remember if it was as soon as I got over the bridge, there was a traffic jam, and I had this spider sense to get off the M4, and I switched to the A4. And when I got back to where I lived, I actually found out that it was literally a traffic jam from the Welsh border through to London. There was that much traffic. It was bank holiday. That's the only time I ever knew it like that. Yeah, Limits Mayhem, it does become a way of life. I mean, when I lived in London, because I was a nanny, and you sort of have to ferry the kids everywhere, and I almost had a taxi driver's knowledge of London. I could get through London in rush hour in no problem, because I knew all the little back lanes and routes and stuff. And I've also had jobs and university and everything where I've had to drive through traffic jams and deal with it. And it does become a way of life. It's living back home again up here in Northumberland and realising that I couldn't go back to it, mind. Now I'm out of that thing with traffic jams. I couldn't go back to it. I don't know how people do it. Sod that, just go on the train, you can eat, drink and kip. I daren't fall asleep on the train. Just no, I won't wake up. Happy non-Beardo birthday. Happy non-Beardo birthday. Happy non-birthday, Beardo. Oh, I bet the caravans are fun for you. They're bad enough here. There's 3 lanes. Oh, 40 mile an hour average speed check. Yes. That target of 40 is tad optimistic. Oh, yeah, there are a few stretches on the A1 like that. You know, you pass a 40 mile an hour sign and you think, I wish I could do 40 on this road. I'd love to be hitting 40 right now. Crow the chat. The only city I'm happy to walk around is York. To be honest, I lived in York for a few years, and it's the only way to get around it. Actually, that's the worst place, and I'm including London in this. The worst place I have ever lived for driving around is York. And it's partly because it's so old. In fact, a lot of it's to do with it being so old. We're like a mini version of York here, actually, because we've got an archway right in the centre of town that only one car can get through. So you have to wait. That's what clogs York up. But even knowing York like I do, I knew a few alternative routes, but York's terrible. It is quicker to walk, and it's stupidly expensive to park as well. Everyone used to drive like idiots north of the river. I've not been to London in years. Happier for it. What I learned, because I was 19 when I moved down there, so I hadn't been driving that long, and there's a different way of driving in London. It has its own rules that everybody follows. It's very different rule system. But when you move away from London, I was sort of doing stuff in traffic that people were beeping at me, getting angry with me. I'm thinking, well, I haven't done anything wrong, and I suddenly realised I was still on London rules. It's very much a different rule system. Oh, Metallica on 4-day countdown. You may miss Saturday's live. You're ditching me for Metallica. Another traitor. I've got John Boy pledging allegiance to Beardo. You're going to see Metallica. I get. You're allowed though. You're allowed to miss Saturday's live for Metallica. Don't know about John Boy. Oh, you gotta let us know how that goes. I've only seen them live once, so that was a download. About 20 years ago. It's okay to want to slow down and not deal with all that crap. My parents went somewhere with much less people and they love it. I mean, when I was young, I wouldn't give up my time of living in London for anything, because I'm a massive rocker. So I was going to 3 to 5 gigs a week in London. That was what I got out of living in London. I couldn't do it now, though. I don't even be bothered to visit now. But in terms of city living, no, I couldn't do it anymore. No, you guys hear me moan about the bloody tourists around here, but yet if you walk, as soon as I walk away from town and walk down my road, there's nothing. We live in a quiet part. 18 was my... How did we get onto the 18? Oh, I missed. Heroes, Poor Batman. Mind You Go by Adam West. I remember. I used to love the 18. I can imagine driving around New York would be a nightmare. Yeah, and it is stupidly expensive to park. I mean, horrendously expensive to park. And there's not much parking. But if you're a resident, the only thing I will give York credit for, if you live there, if you have a library card, I think you have to live in the city itself, but if you have a library card, there's certain car parks, and sometimes it restricts the time where you get cheap parking. So instead of paying like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 quid, you only pay a couple of pounds. Or you did, going back a bit. I don't know what they're doing now. And you could also get into some of the tourist attractions, either for a discount or for nothing, for free. So they did try and placate the locals. Concierges, you can't beat it. I miss going to gigs. I mean, I couldn't do it now. It would have to be somebody, not just the travel and all that stuff, but the whole atmosphere. I don't know how I'd cope with the breathing either now. I've got COPD, but I'm pleased that there's very few people I could have seen and didn't. I'm really lucky with everybody I've seen, especially in the London years. I've driven in London only once, and that's how it'll stay. I don't know if I could do it now. Last time I drove in London, because I sometimes used to drive in London if we were going down to a gig there, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm fine. I know London like the back of my hand." They bloody changed the road systems. They changed the one-way systems, and they started building on roundabouts. I remember driving up to Hammersmith Broadway, which is basically a massive roundabout. And I thought I'd taken a wrong turn because I thought I was looking at a junction, and they built buildings all over the bloody roundabout. They've built an IMAX on a roundabout at Waterloo. There's no bit of ground untouched in London now. I think this was the one where we went to Brixton to see Queens of the Stone Age. I remember cutting through Oxford Street, because I knew a cut through Oxford Street that got me to Hyde Park Corner without using the main roads. So I'm happily going around all these little back alleys, and it was dark because we got there at night, and I noticed at the last minute they'd bloody bricked up an exit. They'd actually built a brick wall, probably to stop people using it as a rat run. But it's like, oh, bugger. Please don't notice that in time. You do need good vibes at the minute, Sandra, and I really hope you have a blast on Saturday. I've been to London once, never again. I didn't drive. Thing is, if you live there, London shrinks. It becomes like a little series of villages once you get to know it. I mean, if we used to go into the centre, into the West End, we could walk around the whole thing. You don't need to get a tube, I see people getting on the underground for one stop, and you think it's quicker to walk. Come on. Once you know it, it does become easier, but to visit it without knowing it it's overwhelming. People do drive like entitled morons, or that honking sirens. I know. The one place I couldn't drive ever, don't ever ask me to, is Paris. I adore Paris. And 2 years running I took the students to Paris, and we had a bus. We went by coach. Oh, I don't know how the bus driver did it. I don't know how he did it. You've seen Metallica once. Milton Keynes. Beardo was at that one. I imagine Beardo's probably seen them a few times. Yeah. Surrey address, loud to London, hated crossing the river, would happily stay put me Wimbledon all the time. Well, it's a lot busier now. The first place I lived in London was Clapham, and I loved Clapham. It's still the favourite place that I lived. It was just a bit of pain to get back to at night. Yep, seen Metallica a lot. A lot. Straight back, sharing the joy. Well, it'd be quiet after the gigs, I'm assuming. That's what we used to do if we used to drive to go to gigs. I mean, we sometimes used to drive as far as Birmingham. And it was a bit of a nightmare to get there, but driving back was, nothing on the road. London rent prices are through the... They were back then, Debbie. Like I say, I was a nanny. I was a living nanny. I lived in for the most part. I only rented once on the last job. So it was, easy way to live in London was just, live in somebody else's house and then just go to gigs in your free time. My first time Beardo, I can tick it off the bucket list. I don't like any new Metallica, but I'd still go see. They're still worth seeing. I wouldn't complain if I was going. Yeah, you will be buzzing all the way home. Yeah. Nothing was as cool as Mike O says. Nothing was as cool as the A-Team. They fired countless rounds and no one ever got hit. Yeah. Bulletproof. Miss Kelly says, I sincerely miss being able to go and see any concert I wanted before I moved from San Diego to South Carolina. There's nothing over here. Yeah. I've moved back to an area where it's difficult. I mean, growing up, that's why hitting London at 19 was like Christmas every day, because I grew up not far from where I am now. And even just to get into our local city, it was an hour and a half on the bus. And you had to get your last bus back was 9:30. So you really had to do a major organisation to get to see a gig. And so many bands, and it's still not great. So many bands, if they come over, American bands, for example, will hit London, Manchester and Glasgow. And if you're lucky, one or two more. And a lot of them just don't even come anywhere near here. I've been to club venue shows, death metal shows and pits, never an arena show. I've been to every size. I quite like arena shows, but they tend to be the least vibey for me because they tend to be a bit restrictive. I don't miss LA and San Diego traffic. I'll bet. I mean, I've never been, but just when you see it on film or TV or whatever. I'm going to crow the chat a bit. But when I say crow the chat, actually go down the chat, not just sit there with an hour behind. Rendering is done. Coffee being drunk. Back to a good chat. Thank you for dropping in, Beardo. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a great day. I'll catch you live. Beardo's live tonight, guys, so don't forget. Catch us live. It's Tuesday, right? Yeah, Beardo is live tonight. Saw Metallica at least 10 times over the years. 30 Seconds to Mars and about 15 times. And Kiss and the Rolling Stones. Now, Metallica... So I saw them at Download. In the early 90s, a friend and I used to go to a lot of the Guns N' Roses shows, including into Europe. So we were prepared to travel. We were both fans. She was a massive fan. I used to run a pair of us used to run a fan magazine on them, fanzine. First fanzine I did. And they were doing a joint show with Guns N' Roses in New York. I think it was Madison Square Garden. I could be wrong. And we looked into it and we could get the tickets, but back then, it would probably be possible now, but back then there weren't enough flights. We couldn't get the flight in to just do the weekend because of, both needing to be back at work on the Monday morning. Like I say, you could probably do it now. But back then you couldn't. But we did try and go to that double header. I've seen Kiss. Saw Kiss in the 80s. Haven't seen 30 Seconds to Mars. I did have tickets for the Stones because I'm a massive Stones fan, but never. We didn't get to the gig. I actually got them for free as well. Nothing will come close to Faith No More. Sheffield Arena 1992. That was probably the same tour. Was it the Epic Tour? I saw them 2 nights running at Brixton Academy. And if I'm forced to say what my favourite ever gig was, that's the one. Hey, Purple Roni. You get a discount on the ferry. So you should. I bet they're not cheap. Yeah, they were great, and I saw them for my 20th birthday experience for sure. It's always nice when you come back from a concert and it feels like an experience. There's a difference between and you know, you can enjoy concerts, but some concerts just take it to that next level, and it's an experience. Sandra got into Metallica in 1987. Love all albums, back to Black Album. They're absolutely amazing live. Still listen to Metallica's early material. John Boy, I'm more excited now. I won't be able to sleep the night before. It's a big deal seeing Metallica. Big deal. Glasgow's. I have been to. I actually like Glasgow for gigs. I saw somebody at the Barrowlands, and I actually went to the Barrowlands one. They might be in the Distillers actually. And I actually chose that particular one because I wanted to see. I wanted to go to say I'd been to the Barrowlands because it was a venue that's had such a good reputation as being one of the venues to go to. But I also saw, do they call it Download up there? They have their own version of Download, or they did in Glasgow. And it's great because it's right in the city centre. Literally in the city centre, in the park in the city centre. And I think you could go in and out so long as you retained your tickets. You could just go into town if you had a gap. It was a good day. It was a nice day, mind. That helped. Good weather. I'm about 30 to 35 minutes from probably 5 to 6 major venues around me, then probably another 5 or so smaller venues. Yeah. I mean, when I was in London, yeah, we had all of them. And we used to live in the Marquee. Miss the Marquee. It's a shame they got rid of it. Because the Marquee, as well as... We used to go because they did local bands in there, and you got in for next to nothing. Or if you went in before 8 some nights, you got in free. And we're going back to the Stone Age before the internet. So if you wanted a ticket for anything, you had to go to the box office. So we actually caught some really big names at the Marquee because we happened to be there when the tickets were on sale. And it was a tiny venue. Cure's headlining next year. They're still going. Last year I barely remember in drunkenness was to see the Misfits, Michael Grace from high school. I remember leaving early with friends that blackout. So it's still an experience. I wouldn't want to see the Rolling Stones kiss. Do you know something? I am a big Stones fan, but I think that was one of the reasons we didn't go. It was partly because the person I was going with, she'd broken her leg, and Wembley Stadium were actually being really shirty about it. They only allow so many people in special cases, so, or they did at the time. But I think there was also an element of, I don't want to see them now. And I decided I was okay not going. The Guns N' Roses of Metallica shows my first real concert in 91, 92. Oh, I'm jealous because we did try and make that. And it just wasn't possible with the flight times. Epic. Yeah, I didn't. 92 sounded a bit late. 1990 sounds right, actually. They did 2 nights on the trot. Aerosmith 1988. I saw Aerosmith probably, it was the Pump Tour, so I think it was about 1990. And they were good, but I felt like they were phoning it in. And it's fine, you know. Every I'm not saying I would love to see them, you know, really on full form. They weren't really on full form that night, so I was a bit disappointed. But I'm sure that most nights they're great. Waited in line, no sleep to secure tickets to Guns N' Roses. Went to the concert and they never showed up. That was it for me. Is that the St. Louis one? Oh no, they did show up. He just left the stage, didn't they? They did have a bit of a reputation for a while. Karen's. Hi all, I'm about to go to bed. It's 1:30 a.m. Just saw this was live. Oh, you get some sleep, sweetie. It's fine. I mean, we saw them about 11 times, and touch one. We didn't have any problems at any of them, but they did have one or two where there were. The name of the band Rolling Stones was probably a good joke when they first started performing. What are you going to watch? Rolling Stones? That's unless you have stones in the yard. Yep. Cheap Trick. I love Cheap Trick. I've seen Cheap Trick. I was Cheap Trick were one of the American bands when in my teens, because I've said before I hated I turned 13 in 1980 and it sucked in this country because it all went techno. And so I was listening to bands. I was listening to a lot of older stuff like the Who and the Stones, etc. But I was also Cheap Trick and Van Halen and people like that. I still adore Cheap Trick. They were awesome live. I'd rather see Metallica back in the old days when concerts wasn't just festivals. See, I'm kind of probably in the same mindset, Wayne, because you know I've been to a lot of festivals and I did love going to festivals, but for me, if it's a band I'm really into, I didn't really mind going to see Metallica at Download, but to me, if they're headlining, it's a bit different, but you're not really seeing the band in their own environment if they're at a festival, because unless they're headlining, they're not doing a full set anyway. I can't think of anybody that I've only seen at a festival that I think, oh, I wish I'd have seen them in their own show. I think I did manage to see people in their own shows as well. Aerosmith was the one I missed, and I'm still bummed. Oh no. We have a Marquee Theatre and it's a small venue with more local shows. Yeah, the Marquee was legendary in London, especially in the 60s and 70s. I mean, big bands like The Who, you know, made their names at the Marquee. And we loved it. But, I mean, it closed down after I'd left London, but Kiss was best in the 70s. The only thing with me with Kiss is I saw them 2 nights running. It was about 1984, I want to say, 84, 85, at Newcastle City Hall. So it was a small venue. They were great, and Bon Jovi supported them. It's the first time Bon Jovi had been in the country, toured. They just released their first album. But the tour of Kiss I saw was the one where they didn't wear the makeup. It's a bit disappointing. Cass says first gig I went to was James. A few years later was at the, I can never remember how you pronounce that. Is it Floor? And Madstock at Finsbury Park. Wow. Worked at Phoenix, Long Marston and Reading 94. Saw Red Hot Chili Peppers and Primal Scream. I've seen the Chili Peppers at festivals. Reading, I didn't like Reading. I actually went to Reading because I'd never been, and Aerosmith was loud and played. I bet they did. No, I have every confidence they were amazing, man. They weren't terrible. I just felt like it was a bit going through the motions. Skid Row I've seen a few times and back then, and they were phenomenal. Sebastian Bach had a hell of a set of lungs on him. Back in the 1990s, I used to hang out with Anthrax Testament. Now at the Hidden Recording Studios here in New Jersey, they have epic jam sessions there when in town for shows. That's awesome. That is awesome. Midnight Oil. I love Midnight Oil. Oh, that's a shame. I'd love to see them live, actually. I don't know if they've ever been over here. Beds of Burning is one of my favourite songs. One of my favourite albums, actually, is Blue Sky Mining. I'm not an album girl because I grew up making mixtapes and then, playlists and all that sort of stuff. I've never been one for listening to a lot of albums straight through. There are very few albums that I will actually play straight through without skipping. Final Cuts one, Pink Floyd. But Blue Sky Mining is an incredible album. Beds of Burning isn't on it. I can't remember the name of the album with Beds of Burning on, but it's called that. That's a great album, but I do love Blue Sky Mining. It's a beautiful album. I'd love to see them live. In Excess. Oh, God. 50 people less than 50 people when you're 16. Jonathan! Hey. My first ever concert was AC/DC at Birmingham when they recorded the track for That's the Way I Want to Rock and Roll. Awesome. I saw AC/DC at Donington. I haven't seen them in their own show, but I saw them headline at Donington, my first festival in 1984. They're incredible. And second on the bill it was an amazing lineup. Second on the bill was Van Halen, just before Dave Lee Roth left. Ozzy was there. I can't remember everybody. Gary Moore was on the bill as well. We were live at Brixton. They did 2 nights, edited it into one. How can you get that? I'm slow. Yeah, it was 2 nights running. You got Super Skid Row back in the day. I'm so jealous. Yeah, I saw them support Guns N' Roses. I saw them in their own shows a couple of times, and I also saw them support Motley Crue. When I saw them in their own show, it was at the London Docklands, which is a bugger to get to. I was so happy because they had supporting them. Might be a band that falls on deaf ears for a lot of people, but a band called LA Guns. I never thought they'd come over here. So happy they were supporting. It was an amazing show. Amy Stevie, member for 12 months. Happy birthday membership for Stevie. How are you doing? Good to see you. I'm talking music. That's why it's coming. The Oils are awesome. Yeah, I always never think when I'm thinking about bands I wish I'd have seen. Midnight Oil are definitely one of them. Skid Row was brand new. Oh yeah, I mean they were early 90s? It might even have been. Would they have even have had a second album out then? Because like I say, apart from their own show at the Docklands, which is like an arena show, it was a support act. I was watching them. It was chaos, amazing, and blurred times for sure. Good times though, wasn't it? Bye, Alexis. Good to see you. Thank you for being here, darling. Behave, all of you. Yeah, that'll fall on deaf ears, but thanks for trying, hon. AV Stevie, by the way, for those who are into music, I'll try and find the link in a minute. If one of the mods can't find it, has an amazing music podcast. I really enjoy listening to, which I haven't for what. Hang on, give me a sec. I know I'm subscribed. See if I can find it. Put a Linky Poo. Do you know usually what happens here is I'm trying to find the Linky Poo, and while I'm trying to do it, somebody's done it. See if I can find him. Which I can't. I will do it before the end of the live. Oh, they haven't unsubbed me off me. I can't find you in my list. Oh, I know how I can do it. I always forget you can do this on YouTube. Where's AV? Oh, it might not do it on AV Stevie, so no. See if this works. First comment I get to is, oh, YouTube's been so glitchy. I'm sorry, guys. Wait a minute. I'll pull it up in a minute. I'll make a note. I will put Stevie's link in. In old days, those bands were still chill with fans, like they were still doing clubs. Yes, they were. Hadn't gone to their heads. Don't think we know the meaning of the word. Behave. No, they don't. I have no control over anything that happens on this live. I take no responsibility. You're listening, YouTube. No responsibility. Hang on. There we are. I found the link. One sec. If you're into your music, this is a podcast that Stevie does. Into your old school rock. There you go. Got there in the end. Yeah, that started annoying me about 20 years ago. That some bands would use it like they were touring, and I think, you know, that's not a tour. That's you going to festivals. That is not you touring my country. And I have to say, I mean, I did see the Foo Fighters quite a few times in their own shows, I'll admit, but people like the Foos and Chili Peppers would do that. And it's like, no, we need some proper shows. Social Distortion back in the day at the Whiskey. That's the other thing, isn't it? It's not just which bands you've seen. It's sometimes you think, oh, I wish I'd have seen them at this place. It's like I think that's the thing with me with Faith No More. I mean, I saw them support Guns N' Roses as well, but so in stadium tours. But just something about Brixton Academy, which is quite a small venue, and there's no seating, so you can go wherever you want. You know, you can go next to stage, wherever. And just something about the vibe at Brixton. I've been to a few gigs at Brixton, and yeah, it was the mixture of the gig as well. Red Hot Chili Peppers at Reading '94 was amazing. I was always more of a Faith No More fan. That's the only thing. And back in the early '90s, you tended to be one or the other. I did like the Chili's, but I wore out many cassettes. Me too. Grandson Oliver loves Kiss. He keeps telling me when he gets older, go and see them in concert. I don't have the heart to think. I don't think that could happen. My bestie has been to about 3 Kiss concerts in the last few years, and each one's been the final tour. So you never know, because they do come here. My older sister loved Midnight Oil and Stone Roses. Oh, pencil in the tape to reel it back in. Little bit of tape if it snapped. Been there. I can name albums in order in the year. I'm a music nerd. I can name one or two bands that were the albums in order, but not many. Probably couldn't mention the years for the most part. I only ever really like small gigs. I'm going to something, but I don't mind gigs in theatre venues. Don't like stadiums. I only like festivals if I can work and have loo and shower access. Best two best festivals I ever went to for toilets. One is Download because it's on the racetrack. They hold it where the racetrack is. Donington is a race park, and they had indoor toilets. So you wouldn't have to deal with They had porta cabins as well, but there were indoor toilets. But by far, it was Guns N' Roses in Holland, in the Netherlands, at Nijmegen, and they had portaloos all the way around. But there was a little cart that used to go around to each and every one and clean it. I never walked that entire day and night. I never walked into a dirty loo. It's amazing. Why can't they all do that? Let alone working at festivals or even going to big gigs is probably not possible for me. That would be me, Kath. I mean, I wanted to. I did have plans not long ago, actually. About 5 years ago, around the time when COVID hit, actually. Of actually getting a van, a transit van. A friend of mine was hyped up to convert it for me and to actually go around some of the festivals, etc., selling my art. I did one or two small ones, did really well, and it was new people. It meant I could be around my people. A friend of mine was actually going to be doing a festival he'd done every year, but then it all fell through because he'd asked me to go down. I couldn't wait. Because it's not just, it's going to sound a bit, I don't know, but it's not just, doing the selling. It's that, if I'm there at a music venue, especially if it's a rock venue, I'm dealing with customers that are like-minded and 92 with Sebastian Bach. I heard rumours that LA Guns reformed. Really? Do you think they should? Oh, and my biggest regret in concert going is I didn't go and see Nirvana, and the reason it's my biggest regret is I could have gone. I've told this story before. I could have gone to see Nirvana. I had the opportunity, but I didn't like the fans at the time. Not in London. Post it, AV Stevie. Have a look, and I'll plug it for you. Not a problem. The other band, there's two other artists that I wish there's several. Actually, I could have gone to see Queen, and I didn't because they played our local stadium in the early 80s. But I would love to have had the opportunity to see Lynyrd Skynyrd, even after 77. I always fall out with Crow because he has seen them, so I'll tell him to shut up. And who was the other one I was going to say? I would love to see, but he hardly ever comes over here, and even if he did now, probably wouldn't make it. I'm a massive Tom Waits fan. I would love to see Tom Waits live. Ned has been so bored that he and Mr. Murder Mittens have started a band named Give Up the Ghost. He claims that it's his way of artistically boycotting YouTube Paranormal. Yeah, we all tried to do that. So I have an art channel. Yeah. He should go for it. Tracy Gunn's band. Yeah, it was the singer, Phil. I can't think of the second name. English guy. Moved over to LA. He dresses up as Gene Simmons. I'll let you know how Metallica concert was. She's going Saturday. Sydney, I think she said. I had that happen because I was 10, really got into the Monkees when they toured in the late 80s. My mum took me to see them. The look on my face when I saw old David Jones. I like Crowded House as well. I do like Crowded House. I'd forgotten about Crowded House, actually. They have some of their albums. You forget. It's like, oh yeah. Diesel and Dust, that's the name of the album. Thank you. Have they toured the UK? I must have just missed them or at the wrong time for me, because I definitely would have gone if I'd have been savvy to that. Julie says I wasn't allowed to go to rock concerts when I was a teen. Wasn't allowed. Got snuck out and saw Motley Crue, a big hair band, and seen a few country music. Seen Motley Crue a few times. Every time by default, actually. Pinky, you get some rest, sweetie. I'll try and drop in tomorrow when you're live. I denied seeing Bryan Adams when I was 16. Still sore about that as I travelled to France on my own and back that summer. Wow. Oh, is Sarah all good? It's okay. No, I'm probably behind the chat. I'll put your link up, sweetie. Oh no, I'm crowing the chat now, and not in a good way. Non-plankings of yet. Do you want one, Wayne? You only have to ask. Yeah, I'm behind. There you go. There's Stevie's podcast. I do recommend it if you're into your music. Check the podcast out. I use it as a radio usually. Let's see, Megadeth next year. Subbed. Thank you, Pepperoni. Thank you for supporting Stevie. I'm not doing concerts. Live streams are enough for me. I just miss it. It's just, as somebody said earlier, it's about the experience. When it comes back, and it's an experience. You can't. I don't think you can beat it. I honestly don't think you can beat it. Well, I don't think you can anyway. My sister and I joined Extreme. Extreme? Nuno feckin' Bettencourt. More than words. I was harsh on Extreme at the time. She was into Pearl Jam and Faith No More for a little bit. Far too young to go to gigs. We're being very good, Debbie. She just doesn't notice when we're good. That says because I'm crowing the chat. Faith No More at Brixton 2009. Oh. I'd love to see them again. When bands tour the UK, they always tend to miss playing in Leeds. Yeah, I've seen a few at the university one, but when I lived in York, because nobody goes to York, I used to go over to Manchester. It was a bugger to get there, but it was quick getting back because there was nothing on the M62. So I've seen quite a few people in Manchester. Oh no, I had to manage a serious spinal injury at Reading 94 tonight. Paramedics got there. Oh, gosh. I'm fairly certain. Yes, Kiss, the last tour Bestie saw, they did say, no, this is absolutely the final tour. And they've lost, I don't know if he was still drumming with them actually, or was it Eric Carmen? They've lost Eric Carr. Well, he's freely gone, and yeah, they probably have meant it this time. I'm sure I've seen Nine Inch Nails. I've got a feeling they supported Guns N' Roses on one of them, but then fell out with them. Yeah, one that had the octagon shape. So you had none of that then, Mike. Wow. 9 Inch Nails with Jane's Addiction. That's amazing. I have tickets for 2 concerts next year. Rush. My other best friend's husband is Rush obsessed, has been since he was a teenager. Always goes and sees them when he always defaults to listening to them as well. Iron Maiden with Anthrax and Megadeth opening. Wow. Kept trying to get this guy down from his mate's shoulders. He kept getting back up. Crowd surged and he went flying, hits back off metal fencing around the mix. Oh no! Ouch. Hey Pam! We seem to be on music today, which is fine by me. I'd like to see a bucket item list. Blue October small acoustic storytelling shows. Ooh. How far behind am I? Oh, 9 minutes. Sorry guys, I'm gonna try. Yeah, the price. I mean, I know it's because I've been out of the going for a while, but I found about a month or two ago, I found my Guns N' Roses very first Guns N' Roses show I saw was at Wembley Stadium, 91, I think, and I found the ticket. This is for a stadium show for Guns N' Roses, who were massive. It was their Use Your Illusion tour, so they were massive global phenomenon, and it was £17.50, which is what, $25, and you'd pay hundreds. The ticket prices are just stupid. Blanky hello says Pam's waking up. No problem. You've posted it. Okay, no problem. I'll check that out later, Stevie. And I don't open Discord when I'm live because StreamYard goes, "What are you doing?" I got asked to see it by 2D. Yeah, and I regret it. It was, I'm actually the old person who will tell people, and have done for years, when they've said, "Oh, I'd like to see them, but it's uncool or for whatever reason." I'm like, you go. You do not want this regret. You don't want it. Do you know? Yeah, that sounds about right. I think that's what it was. That's what I mean. We could get the tickets, and when they first announced it, my friend Kim had worked out that we could get the tickets. We just couldn't get a flight that would take us there from the UK and back on a weekend. There weren't enough flights back then. You could do it now, but then no. It's a hatred of grunge in the 90s because I'm a metalhead and I dig all. Yeah, that was partly it as well, but it was also the Nirvana. It wasn't the band, it was the fans. I mean, there was a rivalry between. I don't know whether it was global, but in the UK there was a rivalry between the GNR fans and the Nirvana fans anyway, because Axl kept falling out with them. But it was also I just found it because we're going to get several gigs a week and mix in at rock clubs and stuff, and the fans were really pretentious in London. Thought, oh, I don't want to be around that lot for that gig. I regret it. I very much regret it. No problem, Cass. You get some rest, darling. Hope you feel all right after that job. Yeah. It really was a bandwagon band, which I don't think was fair on them. I know that there's a reason why it's remembered. They're remembered for the wrong reason, but Caroline missed them because her friend stuffed up the tickets. Music porn tonight. I saw Sabaton on the first UK tour. Yeah, I've seen some early on. I'm generally housebound, but these days I managed to get the bus in my power chair, which I've never done before. It's difficult, isn't it? I mean, I'm pretty much a shut-in these days. Without a car, I'm screwed. I I'm trying to get down to the. It's fun to do the podcast and host the show. Travels a lot for work. We've not done. It's just as and when. As and when. Mike, you know I'm trying to work out who that is. Hang on. I can't. Brain not working. I'm trying to think who I've seen with the best crowd vibe, actually. Not sure. Nobody really springs to mind on that one. Betty, hey. Oh, it's hellishly badass. That is hellishly badass. John Boy's seen Mr. Bungle. I haven't. Shush, John Boy. Eric Carr, yeah. I can't remember though if was he drumming or Ace Frehley in the last ones. I didn't go, so John Wisdom wanted to see Nine Inch Nails. Thought music started going down. I mean, I'm talking the early '90s. I think I think it was Wembley Stadium. I think, don't quote me, that they supported. I haven't seen Alice in Chains. Went to a concert 3 or 4 years ago. Not a good experience. My pain and anxiety. I mean, I know how to navigate a gig to try and keep the anxiety at bay, but health-wise, now I just don't know if I could do it. It wouldn't stop me if it was the right gig, mine. Sarah, have you been in too many of Crone's sex lives? You get behind the chat virus. Thank you. Do you know what? I was wondering because I was always so good, wasn't I? So I was so good at keeping up with chat. And then, you know, because I'm in more of Seg's lives for the entirety now because I'm moderating for him, and I'm always in Crow's lives if I'm sudden awake. I think that's what it is. It's not my fault. Oh, I love you, Peachy. Thank you for that. I'm gonna tell both of them. In the chat. Wouldn't mind seeing Weird Al in concert. Oh, I never got the thing of that. Caroline, I've just been asleep, had breakfast, and did no time shift because Sarah's still behind. No, you just spoilt it. Peachy Penguin's sitting next to me, frowning. Hang on. 1 sec. Oh no, it's not where I do it. Let's just rub it in here. Look, he's crying. No, I don't know who I'm thinking of, to be honest, Wayne. Eric Singer replaced Eric Carr. Oh, actually, I had a feeling Eric Carr had died. I didn't know Eric Singer, though. I do like Kiss, not enough to you know, know the ins and outs. Eric Carr died the same day as Freddie Mercury. Did he? Was that long ago? There you go. I'm at the bottom of the chart. I had 6C A7X, but the whole tour got cancelled due to Shadow's throat. Oh no. I don't think I've ever had anything. Oh, one. I had one cancellation, and it was Queens of the Stone Age. They were playing in London, outdoor event. And I was literally, I'd taken the day off work. I'd legitimately taken the day off work. Didn't always do that. I never used to take sick days. So there were once or twice that I actually phoned in saying I was sick because I had a gig to go to. I'd taken the day off, and I was actually getting. It was weird. Actually, this is weird. It's down in London, and I'd been and ahhing whether to drive down the night before and stay in the Premier Inn next to King's Cross, or just drive down on the day because it wasn't till later in the afternoon. And I'd eventually made the decision to drive down on the day, and I was getting ready to put stuff in the car and head down there. And a friend at work messaged me and said, "I assume you're not going to the concert." And I'm like, why? Well, why wouldn't I go? And it was the 12/12 attack, which was just outside of King's Cross. I'm not saying I would have been in the attack, but I would have been literally just across the road. And of course, everything went into shutdown. So Peachy does not. Oh, that Peachy needs a planking. Yes, Peachy does need a planking. She was all nice to me and then took it all away. Sheila. So you found my weaknesses on Peachy Penguin. And what StreamYard needs to do is it needs to animate. Let me have an animated avatar so you could actually watch him crying. The Stampeders. Don't remember the Stampede. Lewis, thank you. Thank you, Daryl. I could not think of his second name. Skid Row gig. I couldn't believe LA Guns were supported. Did like Phil Lewis. Dawson. Hey. Velvet Revolver. I'm going to be honest about Velvet Revolver. I actually went to see them in Birmingham. And it was the weirdest gig I've ever seen. And this is why. It was pretty much perfect. Sound was perfect. Performance was perfect. Musicianship obviously was perfect. You know, singing obviously was everything was spot on. But it was a cold gig, and it just felt like there was no heart in it. It's the only way I can describe it. It felt like they were going. I don't mean they were not like I said when I saw Aerosmith, and I felt like they were phoning it in. It just felt like one of those gigs that Aerosmith were doing. They were probably exhausted and couldn't put the full energy into it. I just remember walking away from this Velvet Revolver gig and thinking everything about that was amazing, but it left me cold. And one or two of us said that it just felt like too polished. I don't go to a gig for it to be polished. I'll just stay at home and listen to the album. I saw Duff McKagan at the Marquee, and the Marquee was tiny. He was brilliant. Yeah, I loved his album. Don't know what hurts more, planking or Peachy Penguin. Shall I remove Peachy Penguin? Hang on. Stop with the guilt. There you go. Is that better? Maybe not. My other claim to fame was refusing to let the big breakfast when Keith Chegwin was on it through a secure area. How could you be mean to Cheggers? He always irritated me, actually. Everyone, how's the morning going? Morning's gone. It's 3:15 here. They should let you animate avatars you had video profiles on Facebook for. Yeah, it's a shame. You can. I don't dare do it at the minute because of my laptop not having any energy, but you can animate the background. Apparently, I can put an animation in the background, but not the avatars. Cag, how we recovered? Are we recovered? Are we still traumatized? And he was horrid to you, Alison, last night. It's the thanks you get. Cag is an absolute saint. She let Seg stay with her when he was in Adelaide doing the apology tour. You deserve an apology from Seg, Cag. Mr. puts his... No, I won't start that debate again. Dawson, I really enjoyed your last lot of videos. Great job done, mate. Just at work, hope everyone was well. Pray for Cag. She's had to deal with Seg for multiple days. Multiple. You know, it will have felt like forever. If Raven was here, it'd be like forever and ever. We know we were helping her plan Seg suffering. Yeah, we were. He bitched about that and all. I went into their chat. Yeah, they did. We were helping Cag. Dawson, hello, mate. He's gone, thank God. Kaki called me while walking your dog. It's a great dog. That morning it was peeing with rain. You never seen a more miserable Cheggers. That was even funnier as the crew were being aggressive. The festival director was coming up behind them. Wiz, once I get my new computer, which will probably be a couple of months, I will re-look at how I'm streaming, but at the moment I'm just sticking with StreamYard. It means paying for the bloody thing, but I had a farting Egyptian mummy in my video Facebook avatar. I would have been proud. He was a complete bell end. There you go. I'll leave that one up just in case. Dawson, only thing he did right was walk the dog. You found his sweet spot. I saw a hilarious trailer yesterday for a movie that came out in 2021, A Quiet Thought. Couldn't stop laughing. Is that a real movie? It probably is, actually. What am I saying? I don't know. It does sound as though, all joking aside, it does sound like you had a fabulous weekend. You know, Seg being demanding notwithstanding. I saw Stan Webb in Chicken Shack in 1998 in Chester. I asked Stan if he had seen Hendrix live. See him, I used to drink. Oh, I hate it when you meet people like that. Mm-hmm. One of the times we went to see Guns N' Roses actually was in Paris. And that one we actually took an organised bus tour to see them. And the bus driver was awesome. I think he was called Ned. He was brilliant. Old rocker. And he used to tell us Lemmy stories. He used to roadie for them. He was amazing. But Hendrix. Yeah, because Hendrix lived in London for a long time. He was UK based for a lot of that. Okay, Sarah in chat, I got exhausted. I'm exhausted from my swim back from planking. You gotta get much sleep. Work tomorrow. Much love, Peachy. Much love. All the crap about not demanding cakes. I know. I know. You'd been in our chat telling us everything that had gone on, and he was in his live yesterday blatantly lying, saying that butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. Put bloody cream on the scone first. I don't know. I'm an angel. It's all cag. Don't believe a word of it. Don't believe a word of it. Yeah, I'm glad. It does sound like it went really well. The nerves disappeared eventually. It must be. I think Seg said in his live, it's a different animal when sitting like I'm doing right now. Sitting behind a microphone. I mean, you can't even see me at the minute because I can't. Well, it's only because I can't put a camera on. It'd buffer every 3 seconds. But I mean, I'm used to talking to quite large groups because of lecturing. But if you're not used to doing that, it's a very different kettle of fish. Sounds like it was successful though, for all concerned, and especially, most importantly, for Kagan Allison. I only told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. We never expect anything less from you, Kag. We know that you're a saint. It all went well despite having Seg. Look at Peachy. Thank you, Sandra. Bottom of the chat. That's not happened much in an hour and a half. A bit slack. Hello, James. How are you doing? Hope you're good. Just give me 1 sec. We've been talking music, and now we're doing some Seg bashing because that's always good for the soul on this live when Kag's here. My chat's just literally disappeared. Oh, it's there. I'm off to polish my devil horns. Oh, well, you've got to keep them tip-top condition. You hope what's big? What's the line said? Your medal is in the post. It's got a flask of gin attached. It's huge. It's huge. Needs its own freighter to sail it down to us. James, I wondered what I was reading then. Why won't my chat move? There we go. I'm very careful with my text. I like my Seg roast medium rare. Well, it deserves it. You absolutely deserve it. I hire a whole cargo plane for it. Army for the weight. Army plane. Oh, sorry. Gonna hiccup. No, I'm not. Thought I was. Sorry. I hate hiccups. Don't like my hiccups. They're unnatural. Getting hellos. Hellos. What time is it? It's hot. Still light outside. I'm trying to at least get into town in the light. Because the lights literally get switched off here. It's like daytime, nighttime. going to play. Which is the one with... So I'll just boil the kettle. Just play a little video. So quick intermission, guys. Then I'll do about another half hour or so.
The moon is the spotlight this coming Halloween. Get ready for debunking sights unseen. This Halloween will be terrific, but Justin's jumper will be horrific.
Toxic will rock it every single day. Watch the debunkers each come out and play.
Coffee and candy corn bring fantastic joys. Beardos at a meet and greet with Backstreet Boys. Crow is at the drive-thru ordering the menu. Sag is singing the houses down, so the spookies are all leaving town. Trick-or-treaters knock on Kenny's door. He tells them ghosts aren't real. Mr. Gray has spooky bingo. Crow is still eating his meal. Cag and Allison are hunting ghosts. The one night they're all about. They've locked Sag inside the car and will not let him out.
Toxic will rock it every single day. Watch the debunkers each come out and play. Coffee and candy corn bring fantastic joys. Beardos at a meet and greet with Backstreet Boys. Crow is at the drive-thru ordering the menu. Sag is singing the houses down, so the spookies are all leaving
Bill
town.
is eating pizza like any other day. Crowbert is still hungry, but he has DoorDash on the way.
Coffee and candy corn bring fantastic some joys. Beardos at a meet and greet with the Backstreet Boys. Crow is at the drive-thru ordering the menu. Sag is singing the houses down,
So the spookies are all leaving town.
Do you know, I go on intermission and Justin sneaks in. Sneaky Justin. Right, hang on. See if I can find where I was. I've read the CAG saying I hope it's big. Second medium rare, whole cargo plane. I haven't had hiccups in years. I don't get them very often, but I hate them. Got hiccups 5 times yesterday. There we go. Justin in the chat. Just pouring me coffee. Kettle's boiled. Sounds like a Danny Elfman song. I keep trying to get that sound with Suno. I sometimes get close. I want minions like those. I just want minions. I actually love the minions. Is poor Seg locked away? No, not poor Seg. Hope Beardo does Northeast meet up one day. Oh, I'm sure he'll tour the country at some point. You know, the Beardo World Tour. From Wales to Newcastle. Deb's the best thing for Seg. Yeah. Beardo dreams of having hair like that. He needs to cut his fucking fringe. Lily said that. It's like, or put some gel in it. Floppy hair at the minute. Crow would be getting road rage if yeah, damn right he would. He gets road rage just sitting in the house waiting for DoorDash, let alone going through a drive-through. You arrived just in time for the seg roast of the live. Has Crow got to the bottom of his chat yet? No, he's still there working his way through. I was actually sitting there thinking, oh god, if Seg comes in here, he's going to get real hell. But Justin must have felt the call of the pumpkin sweater. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I have coffee. Hot coffee. Sarah needs hot coffee. I haven't done anything I said I was going to do today. No worries, we can do it another day. Monkey ones, yeah. Oh, everybody's waiting for the monkey onesies, Justin. Yeah, to get that merch store sorted. Banana hammocks and monkey onesies. Pumpkin sweater, did I miss that? No, you're usually in the video somewhere. I really hope Real Evidence Paranormal get under Danny Moss's skin. I've forgotten to check the comments today, actually. It's always good when anybody gets under Danny Moss's skin. It's not much fun if you're the one that's got under his skin, but he still deserves it. In my opinion. That's the name of my next punk band, Monkey Jumper. Yeah, it's one day there might be a sequel for me, but I'll wait for the opportune moment. It won't. Surprised he hasn't hit already, mind you. I think he's been busy, sort of spamming Facebook and haven't they got the grand opening of Bodmin Jail? Sadrat, hey, how we doing? Finally got my water back on. Oh, excellent! I'm clean, no planking needed today. Where's me monkey jumper? Bumper to bumper. Well, it's been said. Sums him up, actually. Night Cag, thank you for dropping in. I really appreciate you. Pleased you had such a successful weekend despite side-eye guy. Good afternoon. Oh no, YouTube does suck. I do put them out on Facebook and in my community posts as well, and even that always doesn't help. It's like I do that for Crow as well. Notifications suck. Bodmin, where they're apparently doing events and whack the price right up. Actually, I did look at the prices. I don't know what they were, but I've seen worse prices. I'm not saying they were cheap, but I thought they were going to be more than they actually are. But that being said, I think I would have to double check this. I don't know if this is what Haunted Project do. I think you pay per person, which does whack the price up. Whereas some venues, they just charge for the night or whatever. Justin might know, actually, if he's in the chat. As far as I know, yes, they don't own Bodmin Jail. I think it's I think they're basically running that side of things at Bodmin Jail. I mean, Bodmin Jail in its entirety is huge. I don't even know if it's privately owned. I would I'm guessing here, maybe somebody can tell me, but I'm guessing here something like Bodmin Jail would be, I don't know, English heritage or some sort of, I don't know. The bit they actually advertise is the museum part. I'm hearing quite a few complaints about Bodmin Jail removing historical items, including copies of... Oh, no. Oh. Oh, maybe there's going to be a bit of a... if that proves to be right... Because there's another... Not my haunted project. There's another location I want to look at closely. Which also might cause a bit of contention, but within the community. But I think I'm going to keep an eye on that, and you know, I'll just in for a penny. I may actually cover that if that's what they're doing. Crying boys, seriously. Oh, do you know where was it? Was it Jamaica Inn, I think. When I'm sure I've heard another venue do this. Justin might have mentioned, but I know when Beardo was talking about the Jamaica Inn, you're not allowed to, you know, they will actually say if stories are false. You know, people come in and make histories up and stories are false. And is it that one you were talking about, Justin, where you have to get the facts right? I just think, and as you know, I think I can feel a video coming on because I think I've mentioned this before. I just feel like, I think Justin said it on one of its, was talking about it on a podcast as well, a week or two ago, where this country is very, very strict on listed buildings. So buildings of historical importance that, you know, if you do buy it or do anything with it, it's a very strict code. I think those codes should be there for the history. I really do. I really do think there should be some sort of code for being true to the known history of a place. Never happened, but I think it should. I ain't saying that out loud, but I'm going to put it on screen. Yeah. Seg did, if you haven't caught it, Seg did a really good video. I think it's one of the best videos Seg's done in a while. I like Seg's videos generally, but he did one on Sam and Colby at Pendle Hill. If you haven't seen it, I did put a clip at the end of my Mysterious Britain, whatever I called that. History of the UK, folklore and etc. hauntings, where I did the intro to it, and I used a clip from Seg's video, not just about the way he looked at the Pendle Hill investigation by Simon Colby and the insane things they did, and I mean insane, but also he was talking about, actually I used a clip from Justin's live as well. I think I used a Richard Felix clip, just talking about, you know, in the UK we've got history everywhere. You know, we're overflowing with it, and you know, not just 100 or 200 years. You know, hundreds of years, thousands in some cases. It needs to be preserved. It really does. My mum had a friend who collected the Crime Boy paintings, believing that... Why would you collect it if you think they're cursed? It's The Voice. I'm going to agree with The Voice. It is privately owned, is it? I've never been. But it's a huge building, isn't it? If you look at the pictures. The locals aren't happy. Oh, we have, I don't know, I think it varies place to place, but we have here we actually have a museum called the Bailiff Gate Museum, which is actually near me, but it's them. They've got a big building in the centre of town, which has been not properly used for years. It's on the market square. It's the hall. They've actually got that, so they're moving in the centre. It's called the Bailiff Gate Museum. And we have in this town what's called a civic society. Now, we often criticise the civic society because they're a little bit too pushy sometimes about the town. They can, for example, if you run a shop and they don't like how you've done your shop sign, they can make you change it. Has to be in keeping, you know. But the civic society, if they tried to come here and do what they're doing with Bodmin Jail, I just don't think they'd manage to actually get hold of anything. There'd be too much of a fuss. Yeah, Amy's crypt. Danny's probably, yeah. A fellow I used to talk to in a group worked at Bodmin Jail when they would turn it into a hotel, and he used to post videos saying orbs were everywhere with all the dust in the air. Yeah, it brings orbs out. Something chronic, doesn't it? Funny that. It is the Jamaica Inn. The true history of the place is shut. But you know, all it takes, and fortunately, so many people don't do it. All it takes is for the venue to insist on the history being right. I would love to go to the Jamaica Inn, actually. It's just, I could never get down there, it's too far, but don't American students sign an honour contract or something? Don't know. Yeah, orbs. Ghosts like dust. You don't think it's... Honestly, I'm genuinely highly recommending. It was about 2 or 3 videos ago. Simon Colby at Pendle Hill. It's such a good video. He talks about how history works. You know, that it's very bloody. Also, the insanity of, slight spoiler, them trying to conjure the devil and in there. Yeah, John Boy loves Danny Moss. He's a mega fan. Pendle witch trials were appalling, and they should have all been. Yeah, they should have been actually. But they weren't even held at Pendle Hill. Some of them in New York, some of them in Lancaster. Yeah, it's one of those cases where they don't even. You know, they'll talk about maybe that the women were persecuted, but they don't really go into how bad these things were. You know, the truth of the matter, not the folklore and hauntings. They're apparently trying now the Paranormal Monkey and the yeah. I've been to Lancaster Castle and been in the rooms where they... Oh, really? I love it when Jonathan does this. When belief is shielded from criticism, it stops being open-minded inquiry and starts becoming dogma. Exactly. Exactly. Maybe that's the bit that we can all be criticised for it. I think, understandably, that we do it though is when beliefs are involved. You know, be wary of cult-like mentality, no matter what for. Yeah. Do you know what? It's funny because I'm not going to say which channel it was, but I was looking through some comments of one of the sus channels today. Blatantly fabricated channel. And people buy into it. You know, yes, you do get the notion of people who watch it for entertainment purposes, that they don't really care whether it's real or not, and I will stick to that. But in the comments, and you're thinking, you just sitting there, your mind's blown. You're thinking, how are you buying into this? How are you actually believing that this shit is real? And I'm a believer, guys. I do believe in the possibility of the paranormal. I am not a complete skeptic. I've had enough of experiences of my own that other stuff's going on. Whether it's paranormal, whether it's just stuff we haven't scientifically figured yet, I actually am a believer. But I look at a lot of these channels and I think, how are you, bloody Lee, hovering vacuum cleaner. Oh, we're praying for you, Lee. Oh, Jesus. I think that's part of the cult mentality. Where do we draw the line? Are they going to Dunblane or Lockerbie? Yeah. Let's hope not. My strangest story, guys. Don't think I've told it online. No, I don't think I have. And I'm frightened of telling it online because of the event it's connected to. Because I don't want to upset anybody. And that's just me telling about an actual experience. I just think when you look at the fusses that have been made about certain, and quite a few channels that have gone somewhere and people have said that's disrespectful, it's too soon, you know, there's still relatives alive, you shouldn't be. I mean, I had a go at Barrier Beyond and the people they were with for doing the Estes method and claiming that they'd raised the spirit of Heather O'Rourke. The poor child dies at 12, nowhere near the poltergeist house, and they're getting clicks and views from saying that they've spoken to her. Yeah. And every time somebody gets away with something like that, it's a slippery slope. Oh well, such and such did this. This team went there, or this team did this, you know, and you know, everybody was all right with that. You're getting me riled up, actually. Crow keeps saying, so you need to do some more vlogs. Oh, I'm got annoyed about anything recently. I can do one on, maybe that'll be that one. I have done a Respecting the Dead video, but maybe I need to go a bit harder. There was a case a year or two ago. I can't remember the details of it, but there was a lady who disappeared. I think she was walking a dog, and they didn't know where she was for about a week. And eventually, they did find her. She'd slipped into the river, I think, and died. But there was I can't remember which channel it was, but there was a vlogger that tried sort of covering it, and while she was still missing. But yeah, there was a massive outcry on that one. I think in the two cases you've just mentioned, Dunblane and Lockerbie, I think there would be way too much of a backlash, to be honest. Because when it's close to home, opinion is welcome, but facts are sacred. Yep, absolutely. But that's the other question, though, isn't it, John Boy? You know, what's the right time factor? I mean, you know, it's like, for example, Heather O'Rourke died in the 80s. I still think there's certain things that I think, you know, you just leave it alone. You leave it alone. I don't agree with people who've said, oh, we should be forgotten about and buried. No. You can't bury history. We don't learn from history's mistakes if you pretend it never happened. But it's different ways of agreeing it. There should be a basic code of conduct that teens sign up to. Yeah, that's the problem. Do you know, it's like this is also connected with my problem that the paranormal, because of the state it's in, and because of all the fakery, and because of all the showmanship, and it not being taken seriously, you haven't got a strong academic basis, either traditional academic or places like Centre for Inquiry that Kenny works for, to actually build up something like that, some sort of code of conduct. You see, if you study psychology, best to study psychology. If you become a psychologist, there's all sorts of ethics you have to follow. If you were doing an investigation or an experiment, there's certain things you're not allowed to do. I think we're just way too far off from that, but it would be wonderful if we had it. I agree, Mr. Monkey. I love that you call Justin Mr. Monkey. I maintain that some of the fans that comment demonstrate failing education systems and a lack of ability to critically evaluate everything. I think they do, but I agree with Jonathan as well, that eventually this just becomes if they're not going to critically evaluate anything, and that's exactly what they're not doing, Kaz. It becomes a cult mentality, you know, it gets mixed in with this fandom. Oh, you guys are amazing, we love your channel. Oh, that video was amazing. It was, you know, I'm not a debunker. I don't have the skills to be a traditional debunker. Even back in 2020, when I first started watching videos on YouTube, as a believer, again, watching paranormal videos, and there were some, even back then when I was new to it, that I was looking, no, this is bullshit. I couldn't prove why. I couldn't make a debunking video as to why. But two main channels that never fooled me from the start were Carmel Main and Mindseed, because of the way they shot it. I'm a film analyst, so they use this heavy contrast black and white, and all I'm thinking is you can hide all sorts of shit in there, you know. Most Haunted, and I did watch Most Haunted when they first started, like everybody else, you know, we're all guilty of it. But the more it went on, the more I'm looking at it thinking, the camera's never off Yvette's face. Why aren't you showing us the environment? You know, that's when questions started coming in for me. But people watch things so blindly, they just believe everything. I think if there were still close relatives online, that's the line, but I wouldn't put my investigations online, so that's the difference. Yeah, I suppose it's whether you're making it public. I'm trying to think if there'd be a difference if you did an investigation, you were doing a write-up. But there's certain ways of doing it. Doesn't mean you can't cover some of these locations, but you have to respect what's happened, and you have to respect the dead, and you have to respect the people who are still around being affected by it. When you see teams going to Saddle Mirthra with a spirit box, oh, that's just... There's a... Some of the chat will know them. There's a channel John Boy moderates for them called Days of Horror. I really like the channel. There's a lot of old crime stories. Some of them are paranormal. Really good, high quality videos this channel does. And I remember them doing one video a couple of months ago, and I saw the title and I thought, oh, is this a good idea? And the video was on the husband of Myra's sister. Now, the husband, if you don't know the story, the husband of Myra's sister was there for the last killing, and he went home to, I think she was called Maureen, and said, look, this has happened, don't like it, we need to contact the police. So they contacted the police, and that's how they were caught. And they did the video on that, and they went around to different locations. They were so respectful. They were a lesson in how you handle a difficult topic like that with complete and utter respect. They were amazing. Highly recommend that channel, Days of Horror. The Paranormal Monkey absolutely or change YouTube to have them declare it as entertainment or considered misleading and misinformation. They clamp down on it. Do you know something? If you're doing a reaction, it can. I mean, I watch a lot of reaction channels. I'm a geek, so I watch reaction channels that do movies and TV and stuff. And then you look at debunking channels, and you look at even some of the stuff I do. And it's called fair use. You can use footage if it falls under fair use. And if you don't, you're in trouble. That's YouTube's terms and conditions, and that's fine. That's quite right. But yeah, I agree with you, Cass. There's a certain thing. I think there's entertainment purposes only. There are one or two of the fake channels that put that, but it is so far down in the fine print, nobody can see it. It should be like a lot of people do, like a lot of the debunkers will do. They will put up a notice at the start of the video that says this is under fair use, blah blah blah. This is my opinion. I think I did that. I don't always do it, but I think I did that on the Danny Moss video. And if you are for entertainment purposes only, don't put it in the small print that nobody looks at. Put it clearly at the start of your video. But they don't, because that doesn't get the clicks and views, does it? Yeah, I can't believe they've done that. I think I might have to do a little bit of digging. See where else has been. Windstorm. Oh, I hate drive. I don't like the wind anyway. I hate driving in the wind. Also, where I am, if you're going across a really open space, especially on the A1, and you feel that hit against the car, and it actually moves the car to one side. One YouTuber purported to also have had the ashes of Myra Hindley. Oh. Which would have been bollocks anyway. Because Myra Hindley's ashes were scattered at supposedly an unknown location, basically against. I saw what was supposed to be a picture of it at the time. Just whacked them against a bush by a roadside, I think. Somebody knew where it was. And this is why Ned and I stepped away from YouTube Paranormal. The stifling amount of arrogance and ignorance shrouded in belief. It's terrible. It's terrible, Jonathan, and it's getting worse. And my campaign recently has been about it, not just YouTube, because I've covered Sam and Colby with the board game and the escape room and the poltergeist house going up as an Airbnb, blah blah blah. It's going out into it's going beyond YouTube now. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of streaming services, a lot of TV channels, they're just as bad at faking a lot of the time. But yeah, these people, you got people like Sam and Colby who worked out they're not getting any younger. How do we continue this after we can't have the teeny bopper audience anymore? They're going out into the real world. And this is why it's not taken seriously, and this is why those of us who do want to research it properly just keep hitting brick walls, because nobody's going to fund it. Quite a few years ago, but yeah, it happened, yeah. See, that's the other thing, Sheila. I mean, Sheila's like me. Sheila watches a lot of true crime, because at some point I want to work with Sheila on looking for stuff we can do. But do you know, true crime channels, 99% of any true crime channel I've watched has the utmost respect. And some of the stuff that the YouTubers do, I don't see the true crime channels do it. They have their own sort of code of ethics. Three Ring Circus, yeah. Which is why All those people who say, "Oh, we don't need the bunkers anymore. We know it's fake." Yeah, we do need the bunkers. We need debunkers, and we need people like Justin doing the podcast, even like me with my tiny little channel, sort of trying to sort of pull these things apart. We're needed. We need Kenny out there. We need Beardo and Seg and Crow and Mr. Grey, and we need everybody to, even if it's just, even though a tiny little speck on the paranormal world, hope is lost if we disappear. Shape. I forgot Shape. Sorry, Shape. No, I wouldn't. No, I didn't. When I did the Poltergeist House thing and I knew Barry Beyond had gone, I was going to be covering it to say, look, haha, I told you, ghost hunters are now there. That was what the video was going to be. And I started watching the Barry Beyond video, and as soon as I saw that opening sequence where they were supposedly talking to Heather O'Rourke, I thought, oh no, this is a bigger rabbit hole than I was expecting. My mum was related to the last victim of the Yorkshire Ripper. Couldn't bear to tell her if there was some scammer trying to. Yeah, no, absolutely not. And there are people. I mean, I saw the documentary on Netflix. And I'm trying to think, it's early 80s he was caught. So, I mean, there'll be people younger than me who were kids when, mums were taken from them. It's a living memory, yeah. Yes, that was it, Nicola Bulley. She had kids, she had little kids, and it was terrible. There was a group here that ran an investigation at the burial site for serial killers victims in the bush only 20 years later. Yeah. Ugh. I remember when someone died in our building, and because police were everywhere, the road got closed. Local ghouls posting photos and demanded to know what was going on. Luckily, I knew. Oh, that happens here, hon. We have a local town one, and yeah. Social media. They are unbelievable. Paranormal Nightmare. And I used to watch them. I used to like them. I'm now disgusted that I ever gave them any time of day. I'd be furious if anyone trying to contact. Yeah. That would, yeah. Days of Horror is amazing. Oh, I'm pleased you watched Days of Horror. Such respect. And every case gives dignity. They are. I didn't know how they'd manage it with I can't remember the brother's name, the husband's name, but with Maureen Hindley's husband when they were doing his story. And it was 100% respectful. I agree with Ned Jonathan. Screw the Conjuring House. He wants to start a GoFundMe for Bathsheba Sherman as an apology memorial. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a certain living memory thing to it, but also, historically, it's getting dark outside. I'm going to wind it down in a minute, guys, because it's only 4 o'clock. Why is it getting so dark? Yes, they did. They concentrated on the right things. She got a new headstone. Oh, that's good. Just crowing the chat a little bit. I've not issues with the YouTube, with the crime documentary, but these YouTube channels trying to contact the killer. Yeah, exactly. It's that's what I mean. It's like, I'm going to say I do watch true crime, and 99.9% of the time they're utterly respectful, and they're dealing with actual horrific events. Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? That's why I wish that the research would be taken more seriously, so there would be places to go that you could trust. 320, yes, I kind of go with that. I can't watch so many of the documentaries that have come out since they add their bits of fiction to real events, and my blood pressure can't handle it. What I've actually found with the crime documentaries is I know the channels I trust. So, bit like ghost hunting channels, really. Yeah, the best ones are the ones that focus on giving the victim stories. Otherwise, the victims' names get lost. Yeah, it's as soon as I started that Barry Beyond video and the contacting O'Rourke, it's like, no. You know, you sort of watch it and you think, no, you haven't gone there. You haven't actually done that. It's from looking, don't watch much true crime. I don't watch as much as I used to, but I used to watch a lot. But it's just kind of bringing it up because the point is, they're far more respectful than some of these paranormal channels that I'm astonished people still believe the Skinwalker Ranch is real. Yeah, but Skinwalker Ranch makes money, Daryl. Big TV show. If it makes money, you keep the story going. And I'm not going to say which film clip it is, but I do have a film clip ready for the video I'll be doing that sums it up. People like a good story. And a lot of people, way too many people than we'd like to think about, don't care whether it's fact or not. Oh no! Now that is completely off limits. It's a bit like the Moors murderers. Completely out of limit. Oh, the spin that the children are really demons. Oh, it's just presenting itself as a child to fool you. Come on. Stephanie, does she? I like Stephanie Harlow. Stephanie Harlow is actually the best one. If you're really into your true crime, you have to be really into your true crime for Stephanie Harlow. Not because she's not. For the only reason is she does mega deep dives on things. I mean, I've watched some of Stephanie Harlow's where I've thought, yeah, I've seen so many videos on this particular person. There can't be anything I don't know, and she just finds it. She's incredible. Skinwalker Ranch isn't real. Oh no, I already bought my spacesuit. It's what, banana shaped? Oh, the spacesuit. That would be funny. She is good. So, yep, beam me up. One of the debunkers mentioned the Wests in a video. Don't remember which one now. It's a couple of brick ghost hunters, disgusting behaviour, and the voices were like, oh. I'm going to have to do a deep dive onto this. because something I've been thinking about doing anyway, but I think I need to bring it forward. And you know what will happen, don't you guys? I'll do a deep dive, and even though I don't get many views on videos, there'll be somebody in my comments that'll go, oh, well, it should be up to the individual. Does it really matter? You know, if people are just trying to make a living. Bollocks. Or somebody will say, well, you know, I think it's if it's for science, if it's for research, if it's for investigation. No. There has to be a code, a standard code. And most of the time, you know, it's not rocket science. It's just respect shouldn't have to be something that's has to be remembered to be, if that makes sense. I didn't say that very well, but you know what I mean. I think good stories are absolutely excellent. Telling lies about events or history is not. For example, the stories and histories of asylums and TV hospitals is, yeah. I mean, if you deep dive into history, there's some incredible stories that don't get mentioned. I have a local one, but I need to corroborate it because everything I've heard is word of mouth. But I know that there's a historian involved in the past somewhere. I've got to try and find if where he's written stuff down. You know, history is bloody enough, and events are strange. It was not as strange as, you know, fiction, non-fiction. Not as strange as the truth. You don't always have to be making stuff up. Travis Taylor said aliens kill cows for their blood to use as fuel for their spacecraft. Is that the fire in the sky guy? Just trying to make a living, but it doesn't make the career choice right. Yeah. To me, I look at it quite simply. You know, I'm self-employed. To me, if you're selling something, doesn't matter whether it's, for my case, artwork, whether it's whatever it is, you know, you can be done for trading standards. If I sell a print, if somebody buys an original artwork off me and I send them a print, I can be done for trading standards because I haven't sent them the original. I don't understand why there can't be some sort of trading standards with some of these videos. When you're saying that something's happened that doesn't, it's still, to me, it's still scamming. Bye, Sheila. Exactly. Sheila, you've probably seen it, but one of the ones that I usually avoid, because I think most of the documentaries just focus on him being interviewed, and I don't want to look at him. It's Ted Bundy, but there is an amazing documentary, a 6-part documentary on Amazon Prime called Falling for a Killer, and it talks to his girlfriend and a daughter and victims of the family and victims who survived. It is beautifully done. He's barely looked at all. And his brother, his poor brother, who obviously, older brother, younger brother, sorry, who never got over it. That's where those are the voices that we should still be listening to. Famous statue in Edinburgh has been damaged because of fake info spread by one random tour guide. All the tourists believe that shit. I think it now needs move. Oh no! I've fallen out with tourists before. About stuff like that. In the chat. Cows have many uses other than meat. They're tasty though. I recall where the cattle were staying here and there was a tribute to everything from Satanists to aliens. Yeah. No. I don't get it. To me, it's simple. If you're lying about what you're selling, that's scamming. I don't see any grey areas, but maybe that's just me. I'll take this down to 2.5 hours and then we'll wrap up. Absolutely agree. The voice should be for the victims and family of the victims. Yeah. And do you know something? The one I'm talking about, the Falling for a Killer one, it was only 2 or 3 years ago it came out. So it's a relatively new one. So the people being interviewed have, again, they've been interviewed recently on stuff that happened in the 70s. And it's heartbreaking. It still obviously, it still affects them on a day-to-day basis. Don't say, oh, well, it's okay. We can investigate it. Why do I know? I'm sure somebody eats cow brains. Scammers stole my Facebook page. Oh yeah, I've had one of my old gaming Facebook pages. Never bothered because I never used it for years, but funny no one said insurance fraud. Yeah. My mum loved cow brains. I thought somebody would eat them. Not even the original zombies ate brains. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. I've actually started doing the research on that one. It's a religion. Never seen it, but I was thinking it would look like ground beef. You were thinking? That's the sort of stuff you think about. Why? Why? Greyfriars. The rub the nose for luck has started in the last 15 years. Now accepted as fact. Oh, the tour people won't pay up. They won't take responsibility for what the tourists do. Rub the nose for luck. Come on. This world gets crazier. Right, guys, I'm going to start winding down in a sec. Oh, an Hillbilly Cooking Channel just got her whole Facebook channel stolen. 12 years of videos and image uploaded them. Oh, that's just insane. Yeah, so probably, what day is it? Tuesday. I'm going to try and find a slot on Thursday night to do a later live. Possibly tomorrow if I think it's more likely tomorrow, but I'm going to try and make it Thursday. And then I will have my regular Saturday live on, wait for it, Saturday. Phil and I have also got a date for our Christmas launch live, so I'll go through that on Saturday as well. I'll just let you lot chat for a minute while I'm just doing what I'm doing. Caroline, I'll try and make it late enough my time that it's not middle of the night for you. So how many hours are you ahead of us now? I'm losing track. The time changes have really messed me up. So if I went live about 10 or 11 o'clock my time, that should be morning for you, shouldn't it? No, I overslept. Raven! Go to the naughty corner. $11 hours now, yes. So 11. Yeah, so it would be morning for you. It wouldn't be middle of the night. And it would be sort of early evening for US because Try and make it a bit friendly for the later peeps. So depending on who else is live, it'll either be, if I know in advance, sweetie, I'll message you. But it'll be tomorrow night or Thursday night. I prefer it being Thursday night because there's a bit of a gap. But I think if Thursday night looks busy, it may be tomorrow. But I will let you know, and I will try and put notification up more than half an hour before. I'll try and put it out the same day. So I am going to bid you farewell. Except I can't get to me. Oh, I don't need it. I just need to end stream. Oh God, I'm so dumb. So awkward ending. Toodles.
Come on, Bobby, let's get party.
I'm a Bobby girl.
Come on, Bobby, let's get party.
With a Bobby girl.
Come on, Bobby, let's get party.
Like a plastic. It's a plastic. You can come home.
Come on, Bobby, let's get party.
I just need to be there. Like a plastic. It's fantastic.
I'm too sexy for I'm not, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go down this road.